Mr. Edappadi Palniswamy is an accidental chief minister. He is not somebody who has won the mandate of the people. There is a mood for a regime change in Tamil Nadu. But whatever the BJP stands for actually irritates and irks the average Tamilian. Everybody knows that the ADMK is no more an independent party. They are completely a vassal and a subsidiary of the BJP. Switching over to the BJP is unacceptable, which means that whatever ideology you professed until now is completely false.
Hello everyone. We are now joined by Mr. Karti P. Chidambaram, the Lok Sabha MP from Sivaganga. Sir, the Congress has been demanding a lot of seats, but it got just 23 seats. So are your cadres okay with the number of seats that you got, and how is the campaign progressing?
See, we have passed that point. We are today talking on the 22nd of March, where candidates have filed their nominations and nominations have been accepted. The Congress is contesting 25 seats. That is a fact, and our goal now is to maximize and to ensure that we win all the 25 seats we are contesting, and to ensure that the alliance wins handsomely to form a government. So these debates are all, we have passed those debates on how many seats you wanted, how many seats you contested, and this is not the time to be agitating about all that.
And there were also a lot of problems within the Congress in selecting the candidates. So everything is passed now, so is the party united?
You see, I actually welcome debate and competition for seats within the party. That actually is a great sense of, and is also a great sign of vitality in the party. If nobody seeks tickets, or if there is no competition for a particular ticket, that's not a very healthy sign. We are a large party, having presence from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Of course, there will be multiple claimants to every seat, and that is natural. We should have that internal competition before somebody is selected. And please, get this very, very clear. Once the candidate is selected, he becomes the Indian National Congress's candidate, and the entire party supports that candidate and wants to ensure that that candidate wins.
So the election process has completely kicked off. Now it is for the candidates to go into and seek the votes. So how do you see the Congress DMK alliance faring in this election?
See, I think this is going to be a repeat of the 2019 election. The 2019 Lok Sabha election, the Congress and the ADMK alliance had a handsome victory. There is a mood for a regime change in Tamil Nadu. For 10 years, the ADMK has been in power, and 4 years post-Jayalalitha. And for the last 7 years, the BJP has been in power. And everybody knows that the ADMK is no more an independent party. They are completely a vassal and a subsidiary of the BJP. And the people do not want a government which has any taint of the BJP. They do not want a government which has a shadow or a taint of the BJP upon them. And I think they will vote decisively, and they will vote this government out.
You spoke about the AIADMK government, but now you see Mr. Edappadi Palniswamy, the Chief Minister, is travelling across the state. He is also attracting crowds. The ADMK is very confident of coming back to power for the third time. How do you see their confidence?
See, every political party is always confident of its own prospects. I cannot comment on the foolhardiness of the ADMK or its accidental chief minister. Mr. Edappadi Palniswamy is an accidental chief minister. He is not somebody who has won the mandate of the people. So this is a do or die election for him, because his whole position as the coordinator of the ADMK is at great peril, because on May 2nd, when the ADMK is going to have its inevitable loss, I think he will no longer have any writ over the party. So it's a do or die situation for him, and I believe that he is on his last legs right now, and he will become rather irrelevant after May 2nd.
So if you see in the political discourse, in the electoral discourse, the BJP gains maximum importance in both DMK and Congress campaigns. So why do you harp on the BJP? Is the BJP, anti-BJP sentiments the single biggest weapon of the Congress DMK alliance?
No, it is not a weapon, but it is an issue, because the BJP has no MPs and no MLAs in Tamil Nadu, and it has been trying to dominate governments without having any direct elected representatives, by misusing agencies and by having the writ of the central government over whatever government is being formed, and by encouraging mass defections, as we've seen in other states like Goa, Madhya Pradesh, and in Karnataka, and now recently in Puducherry as well. So this is a party which is employing very underhand methods to come to power and to influence government. So it is essential for us to highlight that, and also the policies of the BJP, which is a very Hindutva agenda driven politics, and that Tamil Nadu doesn't like. I mean, even little things, like even when they announce the candidates for Tamil Nadu, it comes out in Hindi. I mean, when we are in parliament and raise questions in English, because that is the language of communication for us with the government, the answers come in Hindi. So their overt Hindi imposition and also their brand of Hindutva is not liked by the people of Tamil Nadu. There is a great resistance against their brand of politics, and their anti-minority stance is also irks Tamil Nadu. The BJP, whatever the BJP stands for, actually irritates and irks the average Tamilian.
Is Hindi imposition a real election issue in Tamil Nadu?
It is a real, because it's not just the imposition of a language, it's actually an imposition or a decimation of a cultural identity of the Tamil. You know, there have been many instances where central government exams, where the students from Tamil Nadu are not given an option to write the exam in Tamil. Signboards, name boards, replies to parliament, letters and communication from the central government. These are all a very overt, imposition of Hindi, which definitely is an issue and definitely irritates a lot of most of us in Tamil Nadu.
So you mean to say that the BJP will not win any seats?
I'll be hard pressed to see the BJP win a single seat in Tamil Nadu.
Why is it so?
I think the BJP is a detested party in Tamil Nadu. Whatever the BJP stands for, their brand of politics, their communication, their language, everything is offensive to the Tamil identity and to the Tamil persona.
And you spoke about BJP adopting tactics like poaching MLAs and all, but even in Puducherry, it was a Congress MLA who joined the BJP.
It is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. I mean, I do not know what inducements were given to them. I'm sure some inducements were given, inducements of threat. But any true congressman, I mean, I'm sure there are many congressmen who sometimes have issues within the organization for organization. But switching over to the BJP is unacceptable, which means that whatever ideology you professed until now is completely false. How do you make 180-degree turn? So it's not an ideological shift. So it is only a shift, due to inducement. And if the BJP, which prides itself as a cadre-driven party, and it says it's got this, this very idealistic quote-unquote organization called the RSS, which keeps feeding, very, public-spirited people. Why is the BJP not able to field its own candidates? Pretty much every candidate of the BJP is a defector from another party. So the BJP's cadre strength, or the ability to nurture and to promote cadres from its own flock, is rather dismal. So they are relying on defectors all the time.
So coming back to the elections here, so you have been traveling a lot even during the COVID times. So there is a general perception that the Tamil Nadu government did well in controlling COVID.
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, that is completely mistaken. In fact, the fact that the lockdown was announced and most businesses and individuals suffered, and all they got was 1,000 rupees per ration card, nothing else. And that has been an abysmally low number, which has put many people into out of business and probably pushed them into poverty. Now you've seen the latest statistics, just saying how many people have been pushed out of the middle class fold. So in fact, the COVID has been very badly handled. The relief has not been given. The direct cash transfer should have been done at that time, and both the central and the state government failed to do that.
Okay, now but the AIADMK's focus is on this COVID management and also the waiver of the farm loans that they have given, waiver of the gold loans. Don't you think those will attract the people to vote for the AIADMK?
See, as far as this farm loan waiver is concerned, I think there must be some clarity from the ADMK. Are they waiving the loan or are they going to repay the loan? There's a clear difference. If you are given the loan, right now all cooperative banks are under the control of the RBI. Does the state government have the power to waive the loan? Or if they don't have the power to waive the loan, they must then repay the loan. If they are going to repay the loan, do they have the funds to repay the loan? They have given no clarity. And further, anybody who avails that scheme of this loan waiver or write-off or repayment, which whatever you might call it, will never get a loan again, because their rating will go down, and they will, even if they go back for a small vehicle loan later, they will not get it. They are not telling you that. If you avail of this 50,000 rupee write-off or waiver, whichever is going to happen, you will never be able to get another loan again. You will be blacklisted forever. That is something which the ADMK is hiding from the people. So I don't see, the mood is set in Tamil Nadu. The mood is for a regime change. They want a government which is not the ADMK government, or naturally to be the DMK government, and they want a government which has no shadow or taint of the BJP.
So you say that the people of Tamil Nadu have decided to vote against the ADMK and vote for the DMK. But there is a perception that it would be a negative vote, it would not be a positive vote for DMK. But do you think those arguments?
I don't know. I mean, when you count the votes, you only count the votes of a person. So whether it is a vote in anger, whether it's a vote in protest, or whether it's a vote out of love or a lot of affection, I don't think the EVM ever takes all that into account. All it accounts is who voted for which party, and the party with the maximum number of votes will win the election. So what is the emotion behind that particular vote is not calculated in any count.
And finally, coming back to Congress, the Congress has been trying to grow in Tamil Nadu, and now we saw Mr. Rahul Gandhi coming to Tamil Nadu 3 times in just 2.5 months or so. So how do you think the Congress will grow in Tamil Nadu in the coming years? Because now you have got 25 seats, and if you win some seats, that is how a party grows in any state. And you have a base in Tamil Nadu, but there is a opinion that the Congress has not been using it to grow in the state, and it depends only on one Rahul Gandhi.
See, I have definitive plans on what the Congress should do, but now is not the time and place for me to discuss those plans. I think post-election, I personally have definitive ideas, and I hope to play some role in implementing those ideas. But now is not the time. Now the only focus is to make the alliance win and make all our 25 candidates. What we need to do within the party, what we need to do to strengthen the party, I completely agree. We must strengthen the party. But this is not the time and place for me to articulate that. And I will articulate this post-elections.
And you are confident that the DMK Congress alliance will win this poll?
Yes, I'm absolutely confident that there will be a clear mandate in favor of the DMK-led alliance, and the DMK will lead the government post-May.